So after kind of a couple of days of being out here, more than that, like a few days, I had to go back to where I live in Montana, and I had to take a break and do some work. And then I had a buddy, Grant, that I messaged, and I was basically like, let's go chase some turkeys. So he came out here, and I was like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go. It's a new area, it's a lot of land, but you know what, we'll give her a go. So I took him out here and picked him up from the airport, and we headed out. And the first morning hunt, I kind of went towards the area where I was pretty well known about, where I knew the turkeys that I've scouted before earlier in that week. And it was a really weird morning. It got quiet, heard a couple of gobbles, but nothing, too intense. But we would drive around on the roads and see all these birds on private land, and there's birds at this guy's front yard, and he's feeding his birds, and obviously there's pets, so that's a no-go. We would drive down the road and see toms in the middle of the road, just with hens going after it, and you would honk the horn and just startle them. Calls wouldn't work, and it was just such a weird morning. We didn't really understand. Every piece of state land basically didn't have birds, but every private road or private land did. I called maybe like 30 people, all no's. Absolutely no hunting, absolutely no, over and over again. And I was like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope you don't get gar-holed, but I really want to shoot my first turkeys. It was an early one. It was about a 2-hour drive to where we were going, and we got up here, and we probably waited in the car for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I was just sitting in there, and the first gobble go off, and we're like, all right. We sit there again, and they start hammering. So we take off into the spot that we were, hearing the most gobbles out of. So we take off, and we go, we start hiking in, and we get up there, and we would sit, we would call, they'd come, they'd call back, but they would get hung up and wouldn't come towards us. So we had to belly crawl and really, get after these birds. And it was just such a crazy hunt because there was just birds all over us, and we crawled and crawled and crawled, and finally we got up to this top of this ridge, and I couldn't really see them. Of course, I'm short, and Grant was like, they're right there, and I see them, and I was like, okay. And I looked at him, I said, I'm gonna shoot a bird today. So we just sat there, and we waited and waited, and finally we got this tom all stirred up, and he was with a bunch of jakes, and they started running towards us, and we would lose them. They'd be down in like a gully and then come up, and we'd just be like, man, what are these birds doing? Eventually, after the waiting period, it's about like 6, I guess almost 6:30 at this time, here come these jakes that just peep over the hill, and Grant looks at me, goes, those are jakes, what do you want to do? And I'm like, wait. All of a sudden this big tom just comes out of nowhere, and I was pointed to the right when really, they came to the left. Instead of what we thought they were going to do coming straight up a hill, they ended up coming to the left of us, so I had to kind of swing over, and it threw me off guard. My adrenaline was going crazy. I was shaking, and I was just like, man, like this is happening. We cannot move any closer. No. Stay. Are they on the ground? Yeah. There's like 3 or 4. Hopefully it's not a bunch of jakes. I'm not sure. Wait. I need to pull my hair. That's a jake. What do you want to do? What? Kill him. Shoot again. Right on the right. Right there. He's on the ground. How's it, girl?
Give me some.
I miss it a lot.
You got it. Whew.
That was fucking crazy. Holy shit.
There you go. Got one.
Got the monkey off the back. That's a good time. That's how you kill a fucking turkey in Montana, baby. Go fucking home. You know, sometimes you don't make the best shot at first, but I made some redemption and stoned him at my last try on him, and man, I teared up at like just the feeling of finally killing a bird, you know, on public land, and the hard work that I've put in since like high school and like college. Like, it was all just so, I mean, I'm tearing up now talking about it. It was just so rewarding and just such a different like feeling. And it's just like a feeling of success. I don't know. It's something I'll always remember for the rest of my life. And it's my first, you know, moved up to Montana, killed a bird on public land. Like, can't beat that. Just can't beat it.